Hey y'all, welcome to Blended Roots Homestead. My name's Missy, and today I want to talk about tomatoes and the important things that I feel that you need to know if you're going to grow tomatoes. So, we've got a couple different examples here of what's going on. This is one of the many mortgage lifter tomatoes that I have. And that one of the things that I think is really important to know is that whenever you're growing tomato plants from seeds or whether you're getting it from the store, that you want to make sure that you have a really good root system. This is a mortgage lifter. I got my seeds, all of my seeds, from M.I. Gardener. They have really great deals on 99-cent seed packs. You can't beat that. So, like I said, this is the mortgage lifter, and that one of the things that's really exciting whenever you start growing your own tomatoes is you're going to see these blossoms pop up and you're like, oh my goodness, finally I'm going to get some tomatoes. So let's talk about a couple of things that are wrong right now. So I don't want this to be blossoming right now. What I want this to do is be focused on building a really good support root system. So as you can see, this is still in my little solo cup, so that from when I started my seeds, that these haven't been transplanted yet. And that you're also noticing is that my entire stem is bare, that normally this would have been fairly bushy by now, that there would have been quite a few more little shoots. But I've taken them off because whenever I get this into the ground, now it is fairly late, that these should already be in the ground, but that we're getting ready to move and that I'm going to put it into a pot that I'll show you in a minute, but because we're going to be living in an apartment. But I'm still really dedicated to being able to grow at least a portion of my own food. So back to the tomato blossoms. One of the things that we've got going on right now is that we have 1, 2, 3 tomato blossoms right now. And that I want this to focus because right now this plant is focusing on growing fruit, that it wants to grow tomatoes. So I don't want that to happen right now. Whenever I put this into a pot, I'm going to bury it all the way up to here, because on tomatoes, I don't know if you can see it, you have these little hairs, and all of these little hairs, if I put this in the dirt or if I let it lay down on the ground, those will all turn into roots. So that's the main reason why I don't have any of these other little shoots coming off. That I'm gonna bury this almost up to the top, about right here. So this entire thing is gonna be down in the dirt. So the reason why we want to take these off is so that it can focus on building that root system. The other problem that we have going on, which isn't really a problem, but that if you're wanting the best fruit that you can get, we have a fasciated blossom. Sorry, I forgot the word. That is this big guy right here. What that's going to turn into is that's like 2 or 3, I think it's 2. Yeah, it's 3. It's 3 tomato blossoms all put up into one. So that's gonna make those really not pretty, those ugly tomatoes that have like the line in it that looks like it's almost gotten stitched up together to where it looks like a scar almost on the tomato. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to make at least 1 round of some type of tomato product. And this is my best one for it. So what I'm gonna do to this one is I'm going to take off those blossoms. So now you can see it a little bit better. That is a fasciated blossom. Normal one, way too big a one. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of those. That's one of the issues that we needed to deal with. Then one of the other problems. We have already got blight. So blight is a fungal thing that happens with tomatoes. Blight will knock out an entire tomato plant, so we want that gone. And that was one of those little shoots that we were talking about that we don't want. Now, if you had healthy shoots coming off that you're just needing to get rid of, or suckers, the things that come, the other little branches that come up in the middle of the other branches, that you can take those off and you can start another tomato plant. So it's like an exact clone of this tomato plant. So we've gotten over the blight. Now, what did we need to do with this one? I think this one was just cutting off the other branch. Oh, and we've got some bug issues. The perks of organic gardening. Not spraying them with anything. But if I did want to deal with the bug issues, I would still want to cut that branch off. But if we did want to just deal with the bug issues, that you can deal with it with neem oil. Now you can get neem oil for just straight, it's concentrated, from Amazon for about $16. Don't get that pre-mixed stuff, especially if you're going to be doing quite a few. That you mix about a tablespoon, I think it is, with a gallon of water, and you'll just spray your tomato plants with it. Organic, it's completely fine. Then we're going to talk about watering. Now, one of the things that I have heard over and over and over again is that one of the biggest problems that new gardeners have is not underwatering, it's overwatering. That tomato plants like to be watered deep and not very often. So I don't water my tomato plants until they are showing signs that they need to be watered. This, very obviously, the soil is dry, but my plant is not struggling at all. So I'm not gonna, now we are having some 90-degree days, and the tomatoes like heat. That we're having some 90-degree days, but that they're not struggling, so I'm not gonna water them until they really need it. Whenever you start getting the leaf curling, and this one's starting to kind of go through it a little bit. Starting to. I still don't want to water this yet. See how you can kind of see how the leaf is starting to curl up into itself? That this one could use some water, but I'm not just going to water one tomato plant. So whenever it comes time for that, I'll go ahead and I'll water all of them, and that they pop right back. That it's not one of those things that you're going to like, oh, did I hurt it? No, you're not a big deal at all. Then, kind of backtracking a little bit, that I was saying that it's late and that I haven't gotten my starts into the ground yet. And I said that we're getting ready to move in a couple of days. And so I don't want to go and lug all of this really heavy dirt in one of these pots. So, this is what we're going to be planting in, which in the camera looks fairly big, but it's really not. Let me find my biggest one. Here, we'll look at this one. This one needs some branches cut off too. That this is one of my bigger tomato plants. That one, that the spot that I was talking about where you're gonna want to bury your tomato plant to, that's, my soil is not gonna be that deep. I'm not gonna do the dirt up to the top. So one of the things that you can do that actually happened to one of my tomato starts on accident. Hold on a second. If you turn these on their side, they're going to grow up towards the sun. So these were like this all day, and that means that they started to curve up towards the sun. What I'm gonna do before I try to pot my plants the day before, I'm gonna turn them over on their side, and then this is gonna go up to the sun, and then I can put that entire thing down in the dirt. And that if you're doing container gardening, that's a really good trick to know. Or even if you're doing raised beds, anything other than going straight down in the dirt, I just lost my train of thought. That if you're doing container gardening, that's really good to know, so that you can get that entire root system down in and get it going really good. And whenever we start doing planting, I'll show you guys that too. Super excited. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.